Hey, what is up everyone? Today we are going to take a look at the best XP in legendary farms after the latest patch because as you guys know, a lot of things have been nerfed. And so what's the best class to choose from just to start off with? I would either choose Druid or pretty much any of the classes besides good old Sorcerer. Now, I've also heard that Rogue is experiencing some squishy moments as well, so that's something to think about when it comes down to choosing a specific class. The first dungeon that we are going to discuss is Lost Archives. The minimum level for this is anywhere between 1 to 12, and what's great about this is you can level up straight to 12 and then move on towards the next dungeon afterwards. The reason why this dungeon is so great is because of how many enemies are presented within it. It's also close to Kiowa shot, so you can instantly go downwards and go straight into this dungeon once you are in Season 1. This is a great dungeon overall to acquire a good amount of XP so you can reach level 12. And while I am exploring each dungeon, I'm going to be showing you the amount of XP that I currently have. For example, right here, I have almost 1 million, so right now I'm going to try to reach up to that amount, and I'm going to be able to do it quite easily, as you can tell from the group of enemies that are presented. The best part about this is if I do have anything like the potions that boost up some XP, that can help, or if I'm in a group, that's something to think about as well. Mostly, a lot of us are solo players out here, and if that is the case, this is going to work out perfect for you. There is a few things to note down here, such as, yes, I am a level 53 Barbarian, and I am on World Tier 3. Such as World Tier 2 compared to World Tier 3, there's not a huge, massive difference. Yes, there is an extra XP, but honestly, you're going to be able to maybe acquire, I don't know, 30k less XP by going down to World Tier 2, so it's not a huge difference, so do not mind that. But yes, I am on a character such as level 53. So now let's say that you have completed the dungeon, you have defeated the boss. What you can do is exit out of the dungeon by using your emote wheel or on the map. Then from there, once you're outside, you can then exit out of the game. Do not exit out of the game, but just leave the game in that term of exiting. And then just from there, choose your character, and you should see that when you do fully load back in, the dungeon is going to be completely reset. You can rinse and repeat this as much as you like. The best part about this is where you're going to be able to level up quite fast. You no longer have to wait anywhere between, I think it's 1 to 2 minutes, but I believe it's actually 2 minutes in order for a dungeon to restart. Especially if you are trying to do this with Nightmare Dungeon specifically, you will need to wait it out. You cannot just leave and join back because, of course, you will lose out on that Nightmare Dungeon. What you can tell right here is the XP that I was left with after I've joined back. So, of course, if you're on World Tier 2, it's going to be about half of this. I did say about 30k less, but that's just a rough estimation. Moving on towards the second dungeon. This is going to be great for anywhere between level 12 and level 17. We want to locate the point of interest there at the top left. It's sort of towards the top portion here. If you travel from Kiowa shot, go towards the north, and then you'll want to locate this waypoint, then locate Kalbel's Mine. The reason why we are moving up towards the next dungeon is, of course, the other one is going to be way below our level, so we want to move up to something a little bit better here, something that's going to give us not only more XP, but probably a potential chance at legendaries. Here's the entrance. You can then always go inside instantly. Go ahead and confront the large group of enemies. What's great about this dungeon specifically is that there is some great events that can go on, so you can stack up your points that way as well. But if it comes down to these group of enemies, you can stack up some good XP points as well. And once you have cleared out a good portion of the dungeon, if not everything that's alive here, you can then head towards the back portion, complete the dungeon, and then from there you will be rewarded with some XP, items that are dropped as well that you can pick up. And then from there, just exit outside the dungeon and rinse and repeat what we've done previously in order to instantly restart the dungeon. And last but not least, we have to talk about Surat's Lair, which is a great dungeon for either level 17 to up to 50. The best part about this dungeon is that it's very comparable to good old, what? Blind Burrows, yeah. So if you're surprised to hear that, then just let me tell you more about this dungeon. You can gain a bit more XP by, I think, 20k to even 30k, which can overall help you out in the end. The only negative to this dungeon is that it's not available for nightmares for whatever reason. I've yet to see it pop up. maybe in the latest update, but when I tried to roll a few sigils, it just did not work out too well. So that might be a big downer for you, but once you do reach level 50, you can then move on towards Nightmare Dungeons because of the extra XP, the legendaries, and all that good stuff. They've even added some more stuff towards drop rates, so if you do participate in Nightmare Dungeons, there is a higher chance now for legendaries, which is really good. And as you can tell right here, there's a crap ton of enemies, and this is why this dungeon is by far the best when it comes down to dungeon farming. Of course, there is Blind Burrows, but this one beats it by a mile. Now, again, like I mentioned before, if you have Blind Burrows as a Nightmare Dungeon, that's going to benefit you way more than just farming this Surat's Lair by yourself on a normal dungeon. That's just something to take note of. But overall, this is great if you're just leveling up from level 17 to 50. So just reach the ending like we've always done, and you're going to take out the boss. Hopefully a legendary does pop up like so. And then from there, just exit outside of the dungeon by assigning this to your emote wheel. Then from there, go straight to the menu. Leave the game, join back by clicking start game when you're at the selection screen, and then you can go back inside the dungeon and rinse and repeat. The best part about this is that you're going to be able to benefit quite a lot from the XP. Of course, you can use Blind Burrows like I mentioned before, and this can be found towards the right side from this waypoint. Overall, the reason why I recommend Surat's Lair is because first off, it's close by. You can go inside this dungeon at a low level. Second off, there's quite a few enemies. Not just there's a lot. You just saw that about a few minutes ago. And on top of that, you can acquire more XP than Blind Burrows. That's not to say that Blind Burrows is not the best in Nightmare Dungeons, because it is. It's just not the best for a normal dungeon run. And speaking of Nightmare Dungeons, once you are at level 50, all you need to do is farm Nightmare Dungeons for XP. If you want to, you can obviously head over here to acquire a bunch of legendaries, because a lot of you are already aware of this. I know that I've talked about this quite often, but I'm asked also quite often if it's patched, does it work, is it the best spot for legendaries still and unique items? Let me answer that quickly. Yes, it is. It's amazing, and you're going to see the proof here in today's video. I'm going to show you that 3 different legendaries were able to pop up. You can acquire 500k from this legendary if you're on World Tier 4, I believe. And if it's anything lower, you should acquire anything from 150 to 200k. But in the end, this is a great legendary farm spot, and it does work after patch. This, of course, is going to work until they end up patching it, or, you know, of course, nerfing something. That's if they do decide to do that. And if they do, this is going to be a sad, sad day. If you did not know, they have completely nerfed the Cinder Farm exploit, where you could essentially have the good old shaman revive the fallen a bunch of times, and then you can pick up a good amount of cinder that way. It's officially patched. It's gone. It's no longer here. So the only other way to farm cinder is just to go around. And if you've yet to watch my video from earlier, it discusses all of this. Not only that, but also the fact that the cinder is completely bugged. So there is something going on there. They're going to fix it, and hopefully by the time this video is up, it should be fixed. But if not, that's something to look at if you do want to take a look at it. But other than that, thank you to everyone that is currently watching the channel or have watched the videos in the past. Appreciate all the love and support, and hope that you continue to support the channel. You can do so by clicking the red subscription button and clicking the notification bell as well. Other than that, I will see you all in the next video.